Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Namaskar, sir.
Thank you. I must.
Sir, over to you for the inaugural address, sir.
Thank you. Namaskaram. Thank you, Guru Das B.Ed College, for organizing this program. And I congratulate the College Development Council, Punjab University, Chandigarh, for sponsoring this national seminar and beautiful topic, NEP 2020 issues and challenges. I'm sure I'm here because of Dr. Tripta from SDSC Lopon, where last week I was physically there. It was a great and wonderful experience to be in Punjab physically, and that was my first trip last week in Punjab for a lecture. Though I was there maybe 14 years back, in most of the border areas, when I was part of the government of India, I know the problems. Now today also we have the connectivity issues. Though the whole India is talking about the digital world, 5G, so much of development, India has got a varied culture, varied geographical problems, varied technological problems, and we cannot have a single vision, and we cannot have a single policy. So I am sure the NEP is giving a great opportunity for all of us. India cannot have a single vision. So I am looking at what your college, the Guru Ram College, has uplifted the standard of teaching. I am sure it's part of the NEP program. Learning and research to become the national epicenter of knowledge, culture and skills. Yeah, all of us have got a uniform view on all this. The last word says to continue expanding and exploiting the locally, nationally and globally. I am seeing the vision of this college is exactly in tandem with the NEP. And if you look at the vision of most of the colleges, wherever you are in this world, the vision remains same. Or all of us have got same vision. And you look at the next, I am only looking at the flyer, the brochure given by the college on this specific program by Guru Ram Das B.Ed College. It doesn't change. Everywhere you see the same vision, same mission to promote the wide range of the infrastructure, teaching, learning, research facility to promote innovation, create that ignited pool of human teachers, the participate in the concerns of society, to inculcate the moral and spiritual values and growth of the health, peacefulness, the gender equality or maybe recognition, equip teachers with the virtues and skills. Let me ask the management, the educators, the academic leaders, and all the shareholders or those people who gathered together or maybe tomorrow listen to this online when it is posted anywhere. Are we really doing it? Each one of us have to ask this question. I left the government of India in the administrative position and came to teaching because of my passion. have great concern on what is happening around. What is being talked is not what is being done. What is being put in the vision and mission is not what is happening. Same thing happened in the policies of education. Whether you look at the last so many policies which happened in the NEPs also, we call it as new education policy. When we relook at it, we understand there are a lot of issues. I'm sure, I'm so glad to see the title. Though I have given hundreds of lectures on NEP 2020, I'm so glad that this national seminar has given a title called NEP 2020 Issues and Challenges. So what is the issue? The issue is it remains in paper but not practically on the ground. Government has given a policy. Government has told that the pre-primary education onwards, the childhood education, the early childhood education has to be informal. I'm sure it is not going to happen without the dedicated management, dedicated people who are on service, the teachers especially, the parents' attitude. It is not going to happen. In the higher education, I was part of the university where the teaching mathematics, being a mathematics professor, I was part of the mathematics and also in the management department. I have seen how the teachers are being pressurized to show, not to be excel. Not excel in their academics qualities, but to show, because it has become a competition of showing, marketing. But what happens in a business, in a company who produces product? There is an immediate connectivity. I am here talking to a college, and I am so glad that my friend Dr. Tripti from the college contacted, but I don't know why the college did not give a message at least. No, it is natural. I don't think any company runs like this. You may have a reference to somebody, but don't you speak. I'm sure I must have spoke to a lot of teaching activities, students, communities of education. We say people have to have communication. The minimum quality of the people in this world is one text message, one WhatsApp contact, one showing, one talking to them, calling them, keeping in contact. That's human being. That is social being. But very bad communication. It doesn't happen in business scenario. I'm sure when somebody gets an opportunity, immediately they connect to people. I value that a lot. I credit that a lot. But I have not seen people getting into contact. The other day I was in a college in Lopon. I wish the management contacts, somebody talks. No, you have to get into contacts, more and more contacts. Somebody travels thousands of kilometers to come to your place. What is expected is a better communication, right? Now today what is happening? You ask your students, ask the teachers. If teachers are not quality improved, what is the delivery system which is going to happen? So what is the issue? I am sure the College Development Council, which is going to sponsor or sponsoring this program from Punjab University. So every one of us, I was also part of UGC. I was part of University Grants Commission as a director for academic staff college. So improving the teachers' quality was my job. So what is required? What is that is lacking? I spoke to more than millions of teaching communities in this world. What is that is happening? What is international news today? I don't know how many teachers. You ask yourself, are you aware of what is internationally happening today in the world? If you are not, when you go to a class, it doesn't matter whether you are teaching maths, physics, chemistry, biology, English, literature, or your language, Punjabi, whichever language you are into, doesn't matter. Are you aware of the international news? Have you listened to the market scenario today, the business scenario today? Have you listened to the political impacts of what Biden spoke today as a US president on the war which is happening? What is the Russia's policy which is going to influence? Have you listened to the budget which happened this month? Have you gone through the analysis? It's only the finance minister speaks. How is it going to matter to all of us? If that is not there, you don't have a concern, you don't accept what is happening around, you cannot be happy. The health, the personal activities around, everything has to be managed. It is not like a tuition center who runs. So pathetically I am seeing whenever I was traveling in Punjab last week, I have seen the most of the advertisements happens for IELTS. And who is teaching this English communication? The coaching centers, the tuition centers, training people to go to US? No, not to US. I have seen less. Canada, Australia, UK. Is it a place where we want to export to people? What is national education policy says? We have to create the skill for the development of India. Your vision, your mission, look at the college vision, wherever you are working. It says, develop this skill, not for some other world, for us. And what is happening in the classroom and what is happening in the tuition centers, coaching centers? Is it a job oriented to creating people? For that is what is our job in education. We keep saying Savidya, Avidya, the character building and materialistic life learning. We need a great resource in education, giving sufficient knowledge about India, sufficient knowledge about the technological activities happening in the world, so that we can be part of making India more rich. When India becomes rich, we become rich. But what's happening today? Few people are only getting rich. Few people only have got knowledge. The Indian knowledge system, IKS, the great things are getting inaugurated in IITs only, Indian Institute of Technologies, because it's directly owned by Government of India. The prime institutions. But when I go to some colleges, they have not even heard about it. Luckily, I was part of the IKS programs which is happening under Government of India. But if you tell somebody, we must know India, yeah, how does it matter to us? People don't even read newspaper. So it's not seminar, it's not government policy, it is not webinar and conferences. Teachers in the classroom only can change. The first move is to step and plan as a teacher, as a department, as a college, as an administration, as a management. In my institution, can I create one model? Create a sample academic institution in India which says, yes, I understood what is India's requirement, what is Punjab's requirement. What is the border Punjab requirement is not what happens in the Chandigarh. I am sure there is a lot of difference in the culture, the ways, the political situations, geographical situations. So one end to another end of east to west of Punjab itself, we need a different education system. So it's not one Indian education system. I don't know how many of the other day I was visiting Agra. I asked the tour operator, which is the biggest fort. He said that is the second biggest fort, Agra fort. Then I asked which is the first one. He said Jaisalmer fort. I don't know how many students know this. And further to that, there is nothing. You know, the sonar kella which is made by Satyajit Ray. From the east, a filmmaker came to the west in Jaisalmer fort to understand the beauty of the greatest fort of India. 800-year-old living houses inside the fort, a world wonder. How many of us are looking at what is happening around our nation? How many of us know? When we know that Bombay there is a fire in the morning, if I don't know that, what is my Indianism? If I don't know what Biden spoke about Ukraine and Russia issues, I am not an internationally grown up person. I think teachers, training colleges needs to understand, create the very good skill for people to get enough money in their life, understand the world, understand the opportunity. More than all this, create a good attitude. So it's not syllabus completion, it's not teaching, it has become a race. I am sure our job is not to make children to learn. understand, more than that, create that interest in learning, then they will hunt for knowledge. They will not go behind the tuition centers and such centers where they give you coaching center to polish and brush you, where inner content is not there. Understand the business so that you can use your freedom. For self-imposed pressure which makes a businessman a great businessman, I'm sure there has to be self-imposed learning spirit in every student. Otherwise, the pressure from the others, you become only a worker. There has to be a spirit of self-disciplined learning in each one of us. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Yama, the violence I'm seeing around the world. Our education system is a big failure because we are not teaching them non-violence. Niyama, discipline is not being taught. Totally, there is no point in making a beautiful road when the people are not educated. The sufficient facility is not given. The other day I was traveling the national highway, the long route national highway, which separated one village, one gav to another gav, village to village, the connectivity is lost. Have we given sufficient underpass for people to communicate, go to each other? They have to cross the barrier, jumping over the barrier. So is it that we are making development where the village, the presence of the village, the beauty of the village, the connectivity between people have been partitioned? I was thinking, is there nobody to ask this question? So we have to think about the discipline which we create in making development. And creating that spirit is most important. I'm sure education can do great. I did a lot of camps with the children to understand them. Not now. It's almost 10 years, 15 years I started interacting with the students. Hey, they live with me for 10 days and I understand what is the problem. I found that children are not getting educated how to live. So most of my books I wrote in terms of life. Live in full enjoyment. Learn in full enjoyment. Invest your time to learn better. Be more practical. Our education system, we called the younger education as Vidyalaya, where skill development happens. You must know about the life. You must know what next to be learned. Then from Vidyalaya, you go to Kalalaya, that is college, where you get specialized. Then you go to Sarva Kalashala, so you understand how is it to be applied in the world. So I'm sure these are the issues and these are the challenges. Only teachers can change. So I'm always happy to talk to teachers, invest my whole time with any institution who want as a volunteer, to keep myself ready there, to understand the local thing, but only if ready to accept change. I am ready to create a model. I am sure we need such many models. I am working for that. That's the only thing which I do in my life today. So thank you and pranams. Wish you all the best for this great seminar. Let me hope that the deliberations which happens during the seminar and the paper publications, paper presentations, everything will give you an idea, but somebody picks up that and see that yes, what I am speaking I am going to do on the practical world. I will implement at least in one place. I will see that my ideas will get into practice in my place where I am working. This is what I want. This is what I am looking for. So thank you. God bless you. I am so thankful to Dr. Tripta for making this opportunity to talk to the northwest part of India, where I would have never got an opportunity if I did not had good communication with my sister Dr. Tripta. Thank you. God bless you. Keep in contact. My number is given. You are always welcome. I wish people communicate. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. TP. It is always a pleasure to interact with a personality like you. We find you totally different on the screen and when you are live with us. there is great difference. Now we can feel that difference because we have been through physically also. Dr. Tipi, may we ask questions?
Always welcome.
Right. Students, किसी का कोई question है? ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਟੀਪੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਗ੍ਰੇਟ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ 1:1 ਮੀਟਿੰਗਸ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਆਰ ਯੂ ਐਨੀ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ਨ ਔਰ ਐਨੀ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਲਾਈਫ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਟਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ okay Dr. Tipi, there is one question from me as we see the NEP is being implemented we are in the period of transition. This is the time when great decisions are to be taken by the authorities and many other peoples also. But we are feeling that no one is taking steps and coming forward to implement it into very right sense. Reluctancy, we are finding reluctancy and authorities are reluctant to implement it, but they are giving instructions, do this, do that, but today is not there. We are just confused how to implement it into the in right spirit.
Yeah, so what is the question? The question is what is that we have to do? Actually, that is what the whole purpose of, I'm sure, understanding the challenges and issues is to see how am I going to make a difference. That's what I've told. Let us take the very childhood education, early childhood education. So it says informal education. So what is to be done? You know, CBSE is only central board for secondary education. That means only 9th class it starts. So government already has given freedom to all the colleges, all the schools, all the small places where we are running child care center to LKG, UKG, which was totally informal, which has taken into a formal education because from age 3 the education starts. Age 3 to grade 3 there is an academic activity which we can plan according to my situation in the local area. So I got a beautiful model which is created, which is called a Grandma Child Care Center. How to understand India's traditional knowledge, how to make your child to become socially active. Intrapersonal relationship is what a child require at that age. So understanding that psychology, how we can implement. So government has only told this because it has not gone into teachers trainings. It has not gone into, and it is very difficult to make a paper to say that this is how it is to be done. So government themselves are confused. I am sure nobody is there in this country who can tell you what early childhood education required throughout India, because each place it is different. So some freedom is given. So how are we going to do that? We have to create a model. So I am sure there has to be some school which says, yes, I am ready. If that is there, I am ready to offer myself for a month to their place to have an activity which will create such a model. It could be a small group of people, it could be a colony, it could be a city, it could be a small village. I am sure we can make models and that model will get spread. Otherwise, we will continue to do the same thing. Policy is given by committee to the government. Government said it is good, we have to go ahead. But at a different level, when it comes to installation, it takes another 4 years. So in that 4 years, people will dilute it and we will forget about it. This is what happened to the earlier education policies also. So we need to be very careful. Unless we take initiative to see that it is not done in the ground, it's not going to get implemented.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Sir, I want to ask one question.
Yeah.
Sir, how do you see the role of teacher education colleges in NEP 2020?
Yeah, I think we need to make our teachers more creative. if you are not an inventor, you are not a discoverer, you are not scientist, but we need to have more workshops than classrooms. What is the teaching technology which is adaptable today? What is to be done? It is not making PowerPoint, which makes you digitally up. How are we going to do the augmented reality? We don't have to. I don't think we need an augmented reality. Now, what happens because of this? Many private role players started making e-learning platforms and classrooms, and it is being supplemented in terms of tuitions. No. I think we need the public, the great grandparents, parents, the teachers, and the students put together in a classroom, make them to understand the world, discuss a lot of practical activity than the classroom activity. So the syllabus of B.Ed, syllabus of diploma, syllabus of M.Ed, forget about it. Passing examination for writing a purpose, there is nothing great. I'm sure anybody can get it in 1 month at a time. It's not a big job. Our job is to create teachers who have got passion for teaching, so that you are in demand in the world out. Suppose you do the same old job of teaching, the world runs very fast. It is not 21st century education. I keep saying it is not centuries. 100 years is 1 century. We should not talk about centuries. It runs much faster. So let us talk about third decade of 21st century. So I keep saying I am not talking about what is required in 21st century. I keep saying 3, 2, 1. Third decade of 21st century. Renu Sharma just said teachers need to be updated time to time. That's what I am saying. 3, 2, 1. Every 10 years you must change. Every year, every day I have to change. I must know what is the world. That's what I said. I must know what is happening in the world today. I am well connected. It was not the same in 1970s when I was a student. Today I know what is happening in Russia, immediately what is happening there. Right? So are we making our children to get updated instantaneously? Is it being discussed in our classroom? Or are we only talking about the history book? No. I think we should have more activity, and more activity in teachers. You get me into any B.Ed college for a week with a good few number of teachers. I will show you how it is to be done.
Definitely, sir.
That's what is required. We need a practical class. I am not very this webinar and connectivity is only to connect to people. Otherwise, why should I go all the way to Lopan? I was not being invited. I said I am coming. That's what I did. I am coming, so you use me. That's what I told. So I am sure people should use. The government of India has said a professor can be appointed without even seeing what qualification he has. With the industry experience they have, the AICT rule says. Why did government say that? Because our colleges are not connected to the industry requirements. So we are becoming theoretical. We have to get out of that. We are no more a theoretical world. If we are only a theoretical world, we will only export to people, and then they will train our people for their job, and we will become only workers. We are not going to be. See, there is a 4 quadrant of development in the world. First you become a worker, then you become a small scale industry person, then you start a big factory, then you become an investor. So some countries become investor, we create factories there, and that factory gives us small jobs, and we education institutions are creating workers. It should change. I think all of us should become equally rich, and rich in terms of knowledge, rich in terms of the deep experience practically, so that we are skillful. And for this we need to create an attitude. So education system should change people to give attitude, so that the skill development will happen by themselves. Opportunities, we don't have to hunt for opportunities, you create opportunities. That is what is required.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we have a few tips and tricks just to imbibe creativity and innovation in teachers?
I will show you. You want history? I will show you how you teach history in your classrooms. See, I have got a small scale. You can see the scale is only 9 inch, right? And this 9-inch scale, I'm a mathematician. So what do? I draw a line and say 0, BC and AD. What is AD and what is BC before and after Christ? I keep saying A, B, C, D. Between AB, AD is what BC is. So if you know A, B, C, D, you know history. But I have seen practically how people do this. I can expand it into meter scale. You can see how big is this. Right? So on a scale, I can show the whole history. So it's a too big a scale in which the whole history can be marked. It's more than meters. You can see how big is this. Right? So I'm sure there are big techniques and trades in which you can create. So I do mathematics, I do history, I do geography, I do language, practically showing how do you make a model. So you don't have to teach that creating model and showing it. I'm sure you should make a small group and tell the problem. Ask that group to create themselves the solutions and show in different presentation. Same drama, everybody doesn't act in the same style. Once the story is there, I create that actor in me will come up to show how I have to present it on the stage. So a classroom is like dramatizing the knowledge of education system. Let that be history, let that be geography, let that be biology. I teach all these subjects. Up to 12th level, you tell me the whole syllabus, I will tell you how practically you can make it interesting to the students. If somebody says I am not good in mathematics, I will tell you how to make mathematics interesting. Then you don't have to teach them. They will start learning mathematics by themselves. So our job is to market every subject which we have around us. So I create such models. That modeling is what is exactly required for you to make your students interesting. That's what is required.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we will look forward for a workshop of minimum 15 days from your side at Guru Ramdas B.Ed College, Jalalabad. Let me plan.
I love to be there because I know the border. I have seen my job is from satellite image looking at the border. That's what I did 20 years. So I know each and every place there. Right? And physically also, yes, I love to be there. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Pranams.
Thank you. So Dr. Tripta want to ask something.
Yeah.
Over to Dr. Tripta.
I never let you go, Dr. JP. I just want to know your opinion about what is good, what is better, discipline-specific education or multidisciplinary education?
See, we have had a education system in which everything was taught. I don't know how many of you know. Traditionally, my eldest brother, when he was a student, that means in 1940s, 50s, 60s, everything was taught up to 12th class. The syllabus has become so vast, therefore everybody cannot learn everything. When I was doing my post-graduation, we had computer science which can be learned only 3 months. If I read 3 months, computer science is over. But today I am sure if you read 30 years also, computer science is not over. So what happens? We have to go for specialization. And when we go for specialization, we understood I cannot learn nanotechnology without learning physics and biology. So biology and physics is so vast I cannot finish it. So what they did is they create again interdisciplinary studies. So what is exactly required, you pick up that only and start teaching. So we have gone from generalistic learning to specialized learning, plus picking up different subjects and putting them together to make you fit. When I took my PhD in mathematics, I never knew if I have to work in space department, I have to learn geography again. Otherwise, how do I know the geography of Punjab being a mathematics student? So I learned about that border area because my job was to monitor what is happening in the border from the satellite image. So what I have to learn? I have to learn technology. I also have to learn the ground as geography. So it's a mix of computer science, mathematics, physics and geography together. Is it not interdisciplinary? So that is what is demanded in the industry. That is what is demanded out of me as a worker. That's how the interdisciplinary things came. So it all depends on what you need. But I am sure as a teacher, my knowledge should not be very specific to one topic. That is what happens. We have got compartmentalized teaching departments. I don't know, my student is studying 10th class, he knows maths, physics, chemistry, biology, every subject. But I am a geography teacher. When I go to them, I know only geography. I forgot my traditional old mathematics. So without mathematics, becoming a geography teacher is a failure. At least up to 10th class, every teacher should know every subject. That is why our basic education is given every subject. Then we go for specialization and we say, what is your background? My background is mathematics. My foreground is every subject. So I believe that every teacher should brush up every subject. If I am going to teach somebody, if I am going to come to your college to teach my M.Ed or B.Ed, you know what do? I look at the whole syllabus and I know who is sitting in front of me is learning all this. So I should also have that knowledge. Otherwise I am a failure. So if a biology teacher is going to a class for teaching biology in 10th class, I want that biology teacher look at maths, physics, chemistry and every English chapter also. I know if a biology teacher goes and speaks a little bit about English, what they are learning in the poetry, you know that students will start getting attracted to you. If you get attracted to that, an actor in a film is not just acting. His job is only acting, but he knows how the camera is working. He knows how the editing happens. He knows how the sound is managed. He knows how to make the platform and the scene and sceneries. He knows the whole thing about the cinema. Similarly, every teacher, subject teacher should know the wholeness. That is what is holistic education. If teachers are not holistically looking at the whole subject together, the objective and scope of my teaching is to be very specifically understood by every teachers. That is most essential. I don't know the objective and scope where I am pasting my teaching, what I am doing in my class, where is it going to be useful? I think the students will not accept. That's the biggest failure we have. We have not defined objective of scope and scope for every single class. I am very clear about the objective and scope. Otherwise, when I am talking to the seminar, why should I look at the flyer so clearly to know what is the scope defined, what is the mission, what is the vision, where is geographically this college is. I know where latitude, longitude, which map this college belongs to. So I go to that extent to understand. We should do a lot of homework. I think teachers must do a lot of homework. That's all what is to be done.
Thank you, Dr. TP.
Sir, I would like to ask one question.
Yeah.
What is the future of teacher education institutions as related to NEP 2020?
I was so depressed to see the teaching colleges in Punjab is having more vacant seats and not filled. I'll tell you, I am from Kerala, the southwest of India. We have thousands of students across the state where the college is not available for them for admission. So I was telling the other day to Dr. Tripti that tell me you want students to fill your seats, I can get students from Kerala. And I'm sure Punjab can become very rich by giving teacher education. Because there are a lot of demand. I'll tell you, when I went to Northeast in Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalayas in early 2010, there were no B.Ed colleges. And they were exporting teachers from different part of India. So immediately what I did, I asked them to start a B.Ed college. I was part and parcel of making it happen there. Pushing it to make a teacher education center. I think we need to have good institution, good infrastructure, good teachers, lot of activity based, and you should become internationally famous. From the whole world people will come. Why people from India, for making an NEP, people go to Finland to learn education, and our infrastructure in Punjab is underutilized. It's so sad and bad, right? I'm sure we should have people traveling across India, not for only seeing Agra and palaces and only to see the golden temple. They should come to the place of golden temple to get golden education. That's what is required. So that should happen more and more. So you have got a lot of roles to play. Forget about NEP and all that. No, let us make our learning system more practical. You decide examination, certification, university's job. Let them do it. We can equip our children not to pass only one exam. We can make our children to pass any exams in this world. Why do you want only nursing institutions? I'm so depressed again to see nursing people are being exported from so many nursing colleges, but doctors are not produced. So you want to do only assistants job? You don't want your children to become doctors and experts in this medical field? Why medical colleges are not there so many as in nursing colleges? I know that 1:100 is the ratio, probably a doctor to a nurse ratio. But why do you want to export your children as the servants in somebody's hospital? We need a lot of people who are qualified, and we go from India to unknown countries like Ukraine where you have got problems, and so many 190 countries in this world people go for education. And we don't have education institutions where people are attracted from the other part of the world. It's so pathetic. So create model. Create the best institution giving the best education. I am sure you can have golden education centers in Punjab. I am totally for that. So you have a great job to do. You have a great job to do. But not in infrastructure. I think the quality improvement in education should happen so that you create marvelous institutions. People will not go abroad for studies. People will come to you to study in your state. That is what is required.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we feel more energized and confident, and definitely we will start a move to provide quality education in Punjab so that people need not to leave Punjab.
Amateur service. Amateur service.
Thank you so much, sir. We will look forward to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.